Hey, because of Baptist Church, it is Holy Week. This Sunday is Easter Sunday, and I want to talk to you for just a couple of minutes about how to prepare for our time in the Word, both this Friday in our Good Friday service at 6:30 p.m. and then in our Easter Sunday service at 10:30 a.m. And then I also wanted to share with you just a couple of things that you can do to prepare your heart for these services and also to prepare to serve your neighbor in these services. So first of all, let's just talk about how to get ready for our time in the Word together. We have been walking through the story of the Bible since January of this year, and right at the beginning of the story, as Adam and Eve fell, God made a promise to them. He promised that one day a snake crusher would come, and he would crush the head of the serpent, but in the process, his heel would be bruised. Anybody hearing that in that context would understand that to be bruised by a snake in the heel is to be bit. And to be bit by a snake is essentially a death sentence in the ancient Near East. And so they understood from the very beginning that this promised seed that would come, he would reverse the curse of the serpent, but he would die in the process. And the picture began to get a little bit more clear moving forward. God's people heard that there would be a king that would come. There would be a prophet greater than Moses. There would be one that would come who is a suffering servant. And in the past couple of weeks, we've been introduced to this one, Jesus of Nazareth. And God's people are beginning to sense excitement brewing in the air as this one who claims to be the Messiah has come. He entered into Jerusalem on Palm Sunday with shouts of Hosanna, people rejoicing as he rode in on a donkey. But Holy Week progresses and Jesus is beginning to find himself increasingly at odds with the religious authorities of the day. He cleanses the temple and he's approached by Pharisees and Sadducees that are trying to trick him. And eventually, as Jesus gains the upper hand, they determine and plot to kill Jesus. So on Good Friday at 6:30 when we gather together, we're going to be walking through the story of the cross and remembering this really climax point in the story of the Bible where Jesus Christ, the promised snake crusher, comes and deals a death blow to the serpent, and yet he dies in the process. The story isn't over. We know that on Easter Sunday, Jesus Christ rose from the dead after 3 days in the grave. So when we gather on Easter Sunday, we'll be covering the story in John chapter 20, where Jesus appears to Thomas, and just a few days after his resurrection, Thomas is doubting. And so we're going to talk about those doubts that Thomas faced and why it makes sense to believe in the resurrection. So I want you to begin preparing your hearts for these two services. I hope you'll plan to be with us on Good Friday at 6:30 and Easter Sunday at 10:30. But I also want to share with you a couple of things that you can do to begin to prepare to serve our neighbors. First of all, look for an email from me that you can send out to invite your friends and family and neighbors to come to our Easter weekend services, Good Friday, the extravaganza, and also our Easter Sunday service. Secondly, on Easter Sunday, I want to encourage you to come early to our Easter breakfast. We're going to eat together. We're going to enjoy some fellowship. We're going to sing a little bit. And then we're also going to hear from our student director, Jason Wells, as he shares an encouraging message with us. I want to encourage you as well, carpool if you can, park in the back if you can. Also, if you're willing to help our greeting team, greeting people at the door, helping people find seats, helping people park in the lot. Those are sorts of things that you can do to help us serve our guests and friends and neighbors on Easter Sunday. And then finally, we want to encourage you as well, if you have been cleared to work with our children's ministry, if you've been approved and screened through that whole process, just be ready to serve at a moment's notice if we need you. Be prepared to help out. We may have a good group of kids. We want to make sure we've got all hands on deck for Easter Sunday morning. Well, I hope you'll be in prayer for these services coming up, and I hope that you'll make every effort not only just to attend and be a part and worship with us, but also to serve in some way. God bless you, and I hope to see you then. Happy Easter.